Is Anthony at base camp? Yes. So what we've had this morning, we've got a 35-year-old male climbing Sherpa, very experienced. It appears that he's had a heart attack at Camp 1, so he couldn't progress. It's an urgent evacuation. From what we believe, it's quite life-threatening.
Camp 1 sits at 19,700 feet, almost 14 times higher than the Empire State Building. It is used as a rest stop for climbers after navigating the Khumbu Icefall.
Hey, Gordo, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, man. So this is the situation.
Approximately 6:30 this morning, we got a radio call from Camp 1.
We have a 35-year-old high-altitude Sherpa exhibited severe
Chest pain, swelling.
The top left breastplate, shortness of breath.
Can't walk. They put him on oxygen.
So questionable cardiac, and I'm sure the altitude's not helping. He's giving me what he knows, which is not a lot. There's a lot at stake when we answer any call.
I did speak to our crew to see whether they could go up and bring him down through the icefall, but they said
That is a negative.
So stand by. Helicopters are going to be on their way shortly.
I'll talk to you just a little bit, bud.
We get a report that the young man has anterior chest wall pain. You got to take that seriously. Everything's exacerbated up there. Everything.
For this mission, the ARS turns to ace Kiwi pilot Andrew Gutsell.
Once I left school, I did my license straight away and then moved up to the biggest mountains in New Zealand. And that's where I cut my teeth, really, with mountain flying. Mountains are really what I enjoy.
Jeff never takes off without blessing the helicopter.
The llamas and the monks bless this dried rice. Fly well. I don't care what form it has. You know, hey, I'll take all the blessings I can get. So we're gonna go up with Andrew, at least as high as base camp for me.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Then we'll go scoop this person up, assess, intervene, bring him down.
That's good. Let's go.
Hey, good off. Just want to update you that so you can expect chopper, your dynasty. Get on board. ETA from now, 20 minutes. Just left to the look lap.
okay.
Oxygen's coming on.
Andrew straps to an oxygen tank to ensure his brain stays alert at the patient's 19,700-foot elevation.
Wind's good, power's good.
At base camp, Jeff preps for triage. And Andrew heads to Camp 1. Flying solo, he can amp up speed on his bird.
This is the big question that I had. This wasn't an acute onset and then it went away. This is a constant chest pain and it radiates down into his shoulder and there's some sort of swelling in his left chest.
Yeah.
Graphic 16,000, and graphic 17,000, and wind 19.
Now clear of the Khumbu Icefall, Andrew gets ready to land at 19,700 feet.
You've got to have everything dialed before you even approach one of the highest rescue landing sites on the face of the earth.
Right. Wind's good on the nose, power's good.
If something goes wrong up there, the helicopter isn't in the condition to take off again, there's really no way back down. If the weather comes in, no one's coming to get you.
Coming in, that's good. No conditions look hard and crusty.
They carried him over and they put him in. And when I glanced at him, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if he's alive or not.
Base Camp Lima Alpha. We're departing Camp 1 with the critical patient on board. Stand by, ETA, 5 minutes.
The pressure is now on Andrew to get him down to Jeff as quickly as possible.
I'm gonna get in, evaluate the patient. I can't really listen to him, but I'll try and get some vitals on him real fast.
All right, looks good.
cardiac chest pain right now.
My Sherpa team immediately descends into the helicopter and starts doing exactly what I need them to do. It's very critical. He needs to get down 10,000 feet as fast as possible.
Jeff gets his first look at the patient and begins a cardiac assessment.
He's in and out of consciousness. We got him down to base camp, and he probably felt a little bit better from the drop in altitude. And he just sparked up.
No. Okay.
This guy was having a full-on pain syndrome panic attack. Pain was overwhelming to the point where he was becoming combative and putting us all at risk. There's just too much pressure on his heart. And you got to roll.
The ARS has responded to a plea for help from a Sherpa suffering from a mysterious heart condition in Camp 1 at 19,700 feet.
He's pretty combative.
But the patient's erratic behavior makes it impossible for Jeff to actually figure out what's going on with his heart.
This guy was having a full-on panic attack to the point where he was becoming combative, putting us all at risk, basically. And so Lila and Mingma were almost going automatic right there. Those guys were very intuitively understanding that they needed to calm this guy down.
I need to get his arm. It doesn't matter, shoulder, anything.
The patient needs advanced medical care, but he's a safety risk. If he were to lash out, the Sherpa could cause the helicopter to crash. Jeff has to sedate him before leaving base camp.
If you clock me in the head, it wouldn't matter, but you don't want somebody combative in the back of a helicopter.
Okay, he'll go to sleep now.
As the sedative begins to do its job, Jeff is now able to do his and get an initial assessment of the patient.
This guy's critical. Things are going south quickly. This is very, very touch and go. Heart rate's really high. And as he's failing in and out of consciousness, he's clutching at his chest.
It's okay. It's all right, man.
The patient is still uncooperative, but Jeff has to get him to a hospital before he gets worse.
You gotta stay with me. Stay with me, buddy.
Okay, you let me know when we've got him. When you're happy with him, then we'll go.
All leaders, good to go. Bring it. Okay. He's gonna get more excited when we take off, but then you just let me know how you're going.
Okay. It's okay. It's all right. Bro, we gotta get down.
Pretty slippery slope with this guy right now. He's still going in and out of consciousness and really combative. I don't have a defibrillator. I can't shock him.
Talk to me, man.
Any second, he could completely just crash.
When you can, radio in and we're coming in hot. I think this guy's going into cardiac arrest. Lima Alpha, beating Namsa 12000, inbound Lukla with critical patient.
Andrew, he had that thing nose down. Probably the fastest I've ever been in a helicopter.
Lima Alpha, airspace clear for crossover. You've got a helipad here? Yes, sir.
The patient appears to be in cardiac arrest, so Andrew is flying directly to the helipad at the Lukla Hospital.
12000, inbound Lukla. Let's watch the slope in front of us. I'll get out and give you a hand.
You know, you've always got to assume the worst. Turns out this was the worst.
Go, let's go. Doctor!
Up here? Where? Where is he?
Doctor!
The decision made to come here to this landing zone was really critical. They're currently evaluating him. Negative troponin. His CK was normal limits. Yeah, okay.
Admitted patients?
Yeah, show me. Yeah, let's take a look. Better. Any Gutsell now? That 10,000-foot drop took a lot of pressure off of his cardiovascular system and allowed his heart to quit being in all that stress and strain. Yeah, I was worried about you. You look better. All right, listen, good luck, okay? All right? All right. Amazing mission in my mind in every sense. It played out in a very powerful, powerful way. And then what's the end result? Is we saved his life. Hey, Gavin, it's Jeff from yesterday with Alpine Rescue Service.
Oh, Jeff, how are you?
Good, buddy. More importantly, how are you?
I'm very, very good.
Give me a quick synopsis, you know, and how are you feeling, and what have you been told?
Collapse of the lower lung.
Oh, so you did have a collapse of the lower lung. Okay.
I can't complain one about the attention that I've been receiving yet. This has been fantastic.
I just wanted to hear your voice and make sure you were good to go, and take care of yourself, my man.
And thanks very much for all your care, eh?
You bet, buddy.
Good to meet you.
Yes, have a great life.
The ARS had a good week, with all 3 rescues ending in success. Laku Bire Sherpa underwent surgery for the bowel obstruction and made a full recovery. Wangchuk Sherpa was cleared by doctors at the Lukla Hospital and returned to his village. Gavin Hansen is planning on tackling Everest again next year and intends on making it past Camp 2.
That's good stuff, Ram. You know, it's like, in my mind, that's putting the bow on it right there, you know? That's it. We just did that, right?
This season on Everest Air.
If you're calling us, you need help.
Here we go.
It's very awkward for a rescue team to receive a call knowing that if you say no, 2 people will die. Saying yes, 6 people could die.
Chris, what's that?
Camp 4.
We're just pushing him fast.
Weather is very bad.
Damn, man.
I've never seen a place so beautiful. Jesus. So beautiful. And at the same time, so deadly.
Hi, I'm on the summit of Everest.
I know the mountains, right? Superhuman what you just did. It's amazing.
I've got 2 from crampon point. I think my wife and husband.
What I see is fear. When I have an unconscious person coming down from 22,000 feet, that's real deal.
I witnessed a lot of extractions in my time. I've never seen anything like that.
Simon, move your feet. I need to get her down to the hospital. Simon! There's already been 1 fatality at base camp. These are big boy mountains, man.
I trust you.
What's up at the heliport, and I'll call you back as soon as we get a good beat on it.
The powerful A-Star B-3 has made high-altitude rescues possible on Mount Everest, but even this workhorse has limitations. Per safety regulations, the helicopter is not permitted to go much farther than Camp 2.
And what's the weather doing at Camp 2?
Well, it was about an hour ago. Bad weather was starting to drop from 3 down.
With dense clouds surrounding Lukla, the helicopters remain grounded for the time being, stranding Una at Camp 2.
Our guys at base camp are upset too.
Oh, we're just going to get them to sit tight and get us stable, and we'll get up there as soon as we can. It's up to the Himalayas now.
Her health continues to deteriorate, failing to improve after descending over 2,500 feet from Camp 3 to 2. Una needs to get off Everest to have any hope of surviving. around Mount Everest, the ARS Rescue Sherpa team has brought a sick Norwegian climber down from Camp 3 to Camp 2, their highest rescue of the season so far. Suffering from altitude-related issues, Una Prestholt is unable to move any further. A helicopter is her only option to receive the advanced medical care she needs. The weather has halted flights from Lukla, delaying the mission. The delay has the ARS Sherpas at Camp 2 worried because Una's condition did not improve with the descent from Camp 3 to 2.
Mark, I have a question for you. If the weather gets bad at Camp 2 and we can only get to Camp 1, is it going to be possible to move our patient from Camp 2 to Camp 1?
Right now, I don't think so.
Weather on Everest is volatile and localized. Different camps on the mountain can experience different conditions simultaneously, and weather pockets can shift rapidly.
Once we know that the weather is cleared in Lukla, I'll contact you and we will work out a plan, over? Base camp's fine. And anyone sitting here would say, why aren't we going up there? At the moment we have a critical patient that is progressing through the stages of high altitude sickness. The Lukla's weather conditions have socked in, it's teeming with rain.
Hey Anthony, it's Jeff.
We just got word that the airport's still
Shut down, so
we're calling it for the night.
Yeah, copy.
So let's go ahead and give her 250 milligrams of Diamox right now. Hold on the decks. Find that line up there between allowing her to rest,
but then also making sure she continues to be rousable, right?
Okay.
But we will literally be spooling up at 6 a.m.
Copy?
Okay, up.
Overnight, the weather has partially cleared after blanketing Everest in fresh snow and Lukla in rain. Jeff and Captain Andrew Gutsell prepare to depart for Camp 2 to pick up their critical Norwegian climber who made it through the night.
Nima, copy. This is base camp.
He said.
The ARS Sherpa rescue team has found a second patient at Camp 2 in need of medical care. A climbing Sherpa, bleeding from the nose.
Stand by, I'm just going to give Jeff a call and I'll be back on the radio in a couple of minutes, over.
Hey, it's Jeff.
We have a 19-year-old Sherpa from Seven Summits that came down from 3 to 2. Woke up bleeding through his nose, convulsing, headache, cannot walk.
Okay, good copy. So here's what I want you to do. Let's go back to Una, the Norwegian gal. Let's go ahead and give her another 250 of Diamox this morning and stay off the decks with her. But I want you to go ahead and give him a dex injection now.
Okay, just stand by. Okay, like I have Jeff on the telephone, but he is advised that you will need to give the Sherpa 4 milligrams of dexamethadone, copy.
Yeah, how long was that?
Mark the time that it was administered. Keep him on oxygen.
When dex is taken, the patient has less than 6 hours to descend, or the swelling caused by altitude sickness will return.
Okay, now.
We should be there under 45 minutes, I would imagine.
I need the snow marked, though, before I can come up.
Did you get a confirmation that they've gone out and done their 25 meters north and south?
We asked them to stomp out some good visual references in the snow and mark the snow.
I have not covered that yet.
We just need to get a helicopter up here because it's like perfect conditions now.
Yeah, so before we roll, we got to know that he's got visual reference. But we've got the seats.
We'll have that.
Okay.
Tell him to get in
The helicopter and we'll mark you.
I'm not coming until you mark the snow because I can't land without the snow being marked.
Look, dude, I know that. It's the least of my problems right now. It's very easy to put marks in the snow. We just need the
helicopter up, all right?
We got it. The seats are coming out right now, man. We're getting ready to go. So take a deep breath, and we'll be up there shortly, and we'll go scoop these guys up. No worries.
All right, see you soon.
All right.
Hey, we're not robots. I mean, the gravity of these ARS missions, it weighs on everybody. And then you add altitude onto it, and it takes a toll on everyone, physically, emotionally. And it's hard to keep yourself in check, but we have to maintain focus.
Spool it up, man. We gotta go now. Let's roll.
Although the weather in the Khumbu Valley has cleared for now,
Tail's clear. Wind is pushing in fast.
massive clouds looming on the horizon mean Jeff and Captain Andrew will have to move quickly if they don't want to get trapped at base camp or higher.
The beauty of this is there's lots of different valleys that branch off, right? So we find one that's clear and head on up. That was got to help somewhere, right? Well, not always.
With 2 critical patients waiting at 21,000 feet, Jeff and Captain Andrew fly directly to Camp 2.
Even with good reference, it's going to be tricky.
Do you see they stopped out any reference track?
They haven't stopped up. There's nothing here for you. I'll get him to work hard when you're dropping us down. Yep.
It's really tough to land in a snowy basin with high overcast and flat lights. It really takes away your references as a pilot, and you can't see how high off the ground you are.
How am I going to land?
Can you use people on the ground for reference?
I need more people.
You've already got everything stacked against you as a pilot trying to land on Everest there at Camp 2.
I think we can get on. You're going to look behind us and tell me how bad the blowing snow is, all right? Copy. I got 1 meter.
I can't see anything.
Jeff and Captain Andrew Gutsell are attempting to land at Camp 2 to pick up 2 critical patients in dire need of medical attention. But flat light and lack of reference have turned the landing into a dangerous and tricky maneuver.
Even with good reference, it's going to be tricky. They haven't stopped out. There's nothing here for you.
It's really tough to land in a snowy basin. It really takes away your references, and you can't see how high off the ground you are.
You're going to look behind us and tell me how bad the blowing snow is, all right? Copy. I got 1 meter. I got half a meter. I got on. Nice work, Cap.
Una Prestholt, the Norwegian climber, is the first patient to be loaded. She has spent longer at 21,000 feet, suffering from altitude illness.
She was obviously affected by altitude. She was pretty slow moving.
Walk.
Hey, can you up 100 meters and stand there? How you feeling, good?
Real smoke.
There's a snowbank behind us, right? So
Now Captain Andrew can use the Sherpas to provide reference as he attempts to take off. He is also battling the thin air at 21,000 feet, which robs his helicopter of power.
get down, we're good.
Safely off the ground, focus can turn to the patient
You hold on, I'll examine you at base camp.
and the weather.
Then we land down here now, but I just want one person. Just one. I want a bit more power up my sleeve. And we've got the weather coming in down the valley, so we've got to think about that.
The weather is building down valley. Captain Andrew must depart now to get the sick Sherpa down and not get trapped at Camp 2.
You had a headache, you had nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and it was bad, huh? They gave you the medicine that you needed, but what's gonna be the best for you is obviously going down, right? Thousands of feet going down. Hopefully we can get out of here because the clouds and the weather is moving up. Scary stuff.
Several climbing Sherpas have marked out the landing zone, allowing Captain Andrew to easily land on the second approach. He'll need every second as the weather continues to build around base camp.
First thing I think is, is the weather going to hold? Because if I get up there and the weather closes in, if I shut that thing off at Camp 2, it's probably not going to start again.
I'm sorry, I can only take one, okay?
You got a copy?
Got a copy, Captain. Talk to me.
The Sherpa guys aren't
He's unconscious. Everybody back away. Get ready.
The weather's pushing in. Time to go.
With weather closing in around base camp, Captain Andrew must quickly pick up Jeff and Una and head down valley.
When I have an unconscious person coming down from 22,000 feet, that's real deal.
With an unconscious patient, Jeff must race the weather to quickly assess what's wrong. Step 1, a pulse oxygen reading.
This is very critical.
I open up the door and this kid's laying in the back flat. Immediately, I go into life-saving mode. I know Andrew wants to take off now, but I'd like to get IV access before we take off in case he crashed so I could intervene.
Gotta go, Jeff. Cloud's coming in.
So hey, first I need a fresh O2 tank. This one's toast. And I need to get access to his other arm. He's absolutely frozen and I just can't find a vein.
Jeff rechecks the patient's pulse oxygen reading.
So this kid's coming to life a little bit, but we need to get him and Una down. As long as they hover around 17,600 feet, the altitude's going to continue to have a negative effect on them. Get her in, get her in. Let's go, let's go.
We're gonna have to wait till the weather calms down. It's pretty terrible.
The ARS has managed treacherous conditions to pull 2 critical patients down from Camp 2 at 21,000 feet. A brief stop at base camp to assess an unconscious Sherpa has left Jeff, Andrew, and their 2 patients at the mercy of the weather.
So we've got the 2 patients down. We're at base camp now, but the weather's come in. And we're just gonna stay put.
Yeah, it's socked in, man. Can't see anything. You can see about 300 feet, 400 feet. It's socked in all around.
How we doing there, Jeff?
Pretty winded.
My oxygen's getting reasonably low.
The altitude is also affecting Jeff and Captain Andrew, who are not acclimatized to spend extended time at 17,600 feet. If they do not leave base camp soon, they will begin to feel the negative effects of altitude.
The pressure was fine. We were sitting there. There's a guy in the back really struggling just to stay alive.
You gotta stay with me.
The patients are critical and the lack of oxygen is becoming a problem for me and Jeff. As soon as we get a safe opening in the weather, we need to go.
I can see a bit of light over towards Permarie.
Okay, Jeff, let's make a try, eh?
Copy that. We're gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a try.
Comfortable?
As comfortable as we're gonna get.
Ready?
I said roger.
Oh, a bit of power up their sleeve here. It's good. Sort of like down valley here now, eh?
Do whatever you gotta do.
All right, looks good down the valley below, so we're going to get down below the cloud here. But it's not going to be the smoothest ride of your life, I'm sorry.
I'll take it.
Captain Andrew is able to navigate through the clouds and make it safely to Lukla, where Jeff can finally perform a full assessment of the other patient. Both patients show rapidly improved vital signs and alertness after descending over 8,000 feet from base camp to the oxygen-rich air of Lukla.
What's your name? Saeed? Sangay. Sangay, okay. Yeah, his chest is beating very fast, yeah. His lungs sound like they're sick as well over here on this side. His heart sounds okay, but we'll send him back down to Kathmandu and he can see a doctor down there. When we put him in the helicopter, they thought he was dead because he was unconscious at first. He was very sick. So once again, you see the magic of descending 3,000 vertical feet. For now, they're out of immediate danger. Now they just need to rest and let their bodies recover. Helicopters are an absolute game changer.
I'm back and alive. That was scary. I've been here 5 or 6 times, so it was tough up there. Never experienced that before.
Okay.
It was a harrowing few days for the ARS, but the team's dedication to the mission will ensure that all their patients go home to their families alive. Antibiotics and prolonged rest at a lower elevation cleared Sangay Sherpa's chest of the infection that almost cost him his life. He plans to continue as a climbing Sherpa next year. A week convalescing in Kathmandu removed any traces of haste, and Amit Kotecha returned to his family in England. He continues his charity work in Nepal and will return next year, just not to climb Everest. After 3 days of medicine and rest in the Lukla hospital, Nima Sherpa walked back to his village, where he continued to recover from pneumonia. When he gets older, he plans on joining his father on the mountain as a climbing Sherpa. Una Presthout recovered almost immediately from AMS after descending to Kathmandu. Her harrowing experiences at Camp 2 have not slowed her desire to climb.
She lives to fight another day. High five. Be good.
Yeah.
Maybe see you next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Everest again. I'll come back next year. Yeah.
This season on Everest Air.
If you're calling us, you need help.
It's very awkward for a rescue team to receive a call knowing that if you say no, 2 people will die. Saying yes, 6 people could die.
I need to get her down to the hospital.
I'm on the summit of Everest.
These are big boy mountains, man.